Hello again. It hasn't been too long since my last video. That one went a bit, well, in my terms, viral. 125 odd views in 1 week. Wow, take a look at it. Video 43. Anyway, hello again. It's another dull, rainy day here in Thailand, and it's nearly 7:30 in the morning, so I'm kind of getting used to doing these early sessions. I actually brought this question forward to answer because it played to my inner beliefs and background in terms of change management. So just to set the scene, let me start with one of my old straplines that I used to use many moons ago. If you change the processes, you have to process the changes. Well, it was okay at the time. I'm not so sure now, but yeah, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, so let's get on to the question. The question was asked by Nina Fritsch, who is an EMEA Process Lead for Stolt-Nielsen Limited in Holland. And the question she asked was, how do you see change managers and process managers ideally working together? As somebody, me, who started off my working career as a process analyst before I metamorphosed into a change manager, this was quite a good question for me to answer, as you can appreciate. The process mindset has never left me, and it is the start of everything for me. Yeah. Nina also said in our I think it was a comment to an article I shared. She also said, I know there's lots of project management versus change management information out there, but not much info relating to how process managers and change managers should or could work together. So I looked, I Googled, and she was right. There wasn't a lot, but I did find some information. I also have some close connections who are process people, and I've also asked them for some input as well, just to be a bit different. So let's give this one a go. It's not all my own work because I'm going to quote some articles. So just as a bit of a background before I start, it was at the Royal Military College of Science, now called the Defence Academy, many moons ago, when I was first introduced to process work. In those days, before the massive advances in technology related process solutions, we used what were called ASME symbols. They were the American Society of Mechanical Engineers to map processes, which consisted of a perspex template about so big with the following punched symbols: a circle for operations, an arrow for transportation, a square for inspection, a D shape for delay, and an inverted triangle for storage or file. Processes were manually drawn using a pencil to go around the inside of the shapes using that template. It sometimes took bloody hours, if you'll excuse the expression, to create a proper process chart. And we used pencils as well, so we could rub out any mistakes we made. Okay, enough of the nostalgia. It kind of gives my age away, I suppose. Let's get on to the question. I mentioned Googling. So here's some of the things I found while I did my Google research. In an article from the APQC, the American Productivity and Quality Center, called the 7 Tenets, they include change management within those tenets. The first, strategic alignment; the second, governance; the third, process models; the fourth, change management; the fifth, process performance; the sixth, process improvement; and the seventh, tools and technology. So change management well embedded into their 7 tenets. Well done, APQC. Then, in a supporting blog, again from the APQC, called Change Management, the Heart of Process Management, Great title. They say another way to manage change and gain buy-in is to create core design teams made up of members throughout the organization. Core design teams could be change agents, I don't know. These teams help design the implementation and help customize process models to match the needs of the organization. How often have I banged on about involvement of operational people in things like process design, solution design, etc. All the time I bang on about involvement, and this kind of says it. Their feedback is then rolled up to the group in charge of the process management implementation, and in turn core design team members act as ambassadors, change agents, as I said before, in their departments who can explain the changes as they roll out. Great stuff, APQC, thank you. Sounds absolutely brilliant. In another article called The Importance of Business Process Change Management from the McCormick School of Engineering, can you tell how deep I dug in Google? They say, change is hard for organizations. Tell me something new. Yeah? Even when the to-be state will be significantly better than the as-is state, because change is personal. People are asked to change the way they do their jobs, their processes. Some jobs are no longer necessary because the improved process is more efficient. These realities can create fear and resistance. In their class, I suppose, when they're delivering the training, we use Dr. John Cotter's we use Dr. John Cotter's 8-step process to create a plan for implementing process redesign in the organization. Again, sounds good, and even using a proven change management approach to implement process redesign. Wow. Yeah. And finally, in an article called Change Management Made Easy Through Continuous Improvement from GBS Corporate Training, they say an organizational change management strategies typically look at the people within the organization. Most of the key steps of managing change should be focused on them. Correct. Yeah. Involving people early on, I've always said it right at the beginning, and during implementation, there's that word involving or involvement again, plus continuously adjusting for improvement is critical to success. This includes thorough planning, buy-in, process, resources, communication, and constant evaluation. Anyway, I think I mentioned earlier on, I also asked some of my LinkedIn connections who are knowledgeable in the process arena for their take on Nina's question, on your question, sorry, Nina. First of all, from John Bishop, who works on the contract market in the UK, currently working for Shell, and who I had the pleasure to work with on a couple of previous large projects. John said, I worked with Ron, yes, he did, as a process manager on a couple of previous large projects. And right from the beginning, he clearly stated that he was following a process-driven change approach, with which he was fully supportive. I even went through his Fundamentals of Change Management course last year to capitalise on his change experience and add to my process skill set. Well done, John. He loved the course. Yeah? Change managers and process managers are cut from the same cloth, and establishing a process baseline is essentially the start of any change initiative. How the hell can you tell where you want to go if you don't even know where you are? Tell me. I don't know. But if you want a good process guy, John's your man. I've worked with him twice and he's brilliant. Then, from a gentleman called Carl Walter Kiersted from Canada, who is the managing director of Civerex Systems, said somewhat candidly, I've got to admit, change managers and process managers working together, I think that process gurus are headed for the dustbin. Oops. For the simple reason that we have today platforms that allow a facilitator to host process development sessions more and more at a distance, where the end user, that is the ultimate owners of the processes, actually build their own processes. Interesting concept. Thirdly, from a David McKenna, who runs an outfit called AdderWorks in the UK, whose first reaction when I asked him the question was, difficult one. Don't they say it can be the same person? And that was it. I think that about says it all, doesn't it? Okay. Google, friends, what do I think? I come at it from the fact that change managers have a raft of information, God, I'm not doing very well today anyway. A raft of work to do anyway, and would find it difficult if they were to actually get fully involved in process work. But that doesn't mean to say they shouldn't understand the discipline and the importance of it. Way back when, nostalgia again, I can remember working on a project way back where I started to get involved in process work. It was for a big energy company. I'm not going to say who they are. And they couldn't understand why I was getting involved in process work at the beginning. Why are you doing that? Why are you sort of dipping your finger in process work? You're a change manager. I had to explain to them, and once I'd explained to them, click, light on, they understood. All right. Right, moving on. What's next? Let me think. Oh yeah, sorry. Even the first building block in my practical framework approach to change, after the foundations of sponsorship, stakeholders and communication, is process change, which goes: identify, understand and analyze the processes impacted by the change, map the as-is and critically examine each process, devise new to-be processes and undertake an impact assessment of the changes and gain agreement to the new processes. Then, guess what? The last building block of my practical framework approach to change is continuous improvement, about which I say, design and implement a continuous improvement program. Plan, do, check and act is the most well known, to regularly review changes to new ways of working brought about by the change initiative and implement efficiency improvements on a regular cyclical basis. So we've kind of come around full circle, haven't we? First building block, process change. Last building block, continuous improvement on those processes. Kind of works for me. Some people, yes, some people will say, why the hell bother? My answer, quite simply, would be to get the following benefits. I told you I wasn't doing very well today. Analysis of the process efficiency. Could it be done better? Analysis of the process for effectiveness. Is it doing the right things? Identification of where technology could assist in the process. Matching the process to the goal and identifying a business case. Should it be done at all? Provides a basis for training and induction for new employees. Absolutely. Provides a benchmark for all services provided in a service-led organisation. If you really wanted to, you could capture anything, everything as a process, even life. Yeah, but no, we're not going to go there because, you know, I'll be on this YouTube for weeks, wouldn't I? Capturing life as a process and all the sub-processes that go with it. Anyway, that's it. That's the end. It's a slightly long one again, 14 minutes, just over. So, finito. Thank you very much. Au revoir, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, whatever. Yeah. As I said, I'll see you again for the next one soon.